Hello there, it's Chris Kelly from Air Healthcare, and today I'm going to show you how to use the X-Slant Bite Registration System that was developed by Dr. Alan Moses in the USA. So the components of the X-Slant Bite Registration System are as follows. I'm going to focus on the bite registration material first, which is the one that I think is the best, is the Kerr Take 1 Advanced VPS impression material. This material is a very fast working time, as you can see, a minimum of, 15 minutes, a total set time of 1 minute. And so it's quite fast. It's really good for this sort of situation because of the moussey nature of it. It does not slump, so I recommend it when I'm taking these kind of bite registrations. The next components is the actual X-Slant bite registration system itself. It's pretty basic. It comes with a square arch wire, and it also comes with these shims. The shims are 2 millimeters. You can see it says 2 millimeters there. And then the other shim is a 1.5 millimeter shim, and two of those stacked on top of one another will make 3 millimeters. I tend to like to start off with the 3 millimeter measurement. Now, if you push that too far on, you might stab the patient in the cheek. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep that back where it's going to be more comfortable. And then you've got the other side, which I'm going to place on here and slip that on, pull it back till it's in a comfortable spot. We put the shims to the midline, and so that the arch wire is going around the buckle of the teeth, and that way these will naturally sit on the teeth because the arch wire is flexible. It's just going to stretch just like that. We're only doing 2 spots. So you've got any number of additions you can put on here will increase the vertical. If I place this extra one, you can see we've got this vertical posteriorly. So we're going to show you how to measure the vertical posteriorly so you know how many shims to put on in the first place, just as a starting position. So here's our hapless patient today. Now, this is the centric occlusion of the patient. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask them to lick their lips and then close their lips again and separate their teeth, just to have their teeth in a relaxed position with their lips together and their teeth apart. So it's just a swallow where they're just in a relaxed position and they're not clenching on the back teeth at all. Then their masseter muscles aren't firing. What you're going to do is you're going to sneak a peek down the side of the teeth to see what freeway space there is. And obviously it's going to look something a bit like this, and you might say, oh, that's 3 millimeters. If it's 3 millimeters, you can start with the shim that is 3 millimeters, which is 2 1.5 millimeter shims like this. And to get the shim sitting properly on the teeth so that when you apply the registration material, it doesn't sort of slide off the side like you've got one here and one there like that. You can bend this arch wire to suit. So as you can see, if I've bent it too far out, it's not going to sit favorably on the teeth. You can see here it's now sort of falling off the side. So just bend it to the right size so that it's just touching on the teeth passively. Now this is over the 6-year-old molars. I don't want to be right the way on the 7s. This is the vertical stop of the mouth, the 6-year-old molar. So that's the one that I'm going to use to perform this bite registration with, and just a little bit of toing and froing with the wire like that, and you can get it to sit exactly where you want to. All right, so I'm going to apply a generous amount of material just on the top part of the Lego brick sort of look of the thing. You put that in the patient's mouth and you ask them to bite gently on the back teeth, just in their normal bite position. And this stuff will take a very short time to set. Now, what happens is you can get the patient to open their mouth and you see that the bite jig is stuck on the side. it's well stuck, and the patient's able to slide underneath because there's nothing on the bottom of those plates, so the patient can slide forward and backwards, and this is the beauty of this X-Slant. So you've got your positioning on the 6-year-old molars, and then when they come forward, you're going to get that anterior opening as well as the posterior opening, just the way you want it. So this is the next step is to confirm the bite. Okay, so with the bite registration on the top teeth, you can squeeze a little bit of material underneath, or you can do this outside of the mouth and then put this back in the mouth. And then what you do is you get the patient to bite together on their back teeth the way they normally would, and then slide forward to a nice edge-to-edge position, or just 1 millimeter beyond it, as you can see there. And you're not worrying about midlines matching, because this is the interesting thing about patients. Their midlines don't often match when they come forward because of the asymmetrical nature of the condyles. So anybody trying to chase a midline at the front on an oral appliance, especially a mass, they're going to create a tension on one condyle or the other, depending on where the shift should have gone as opposed to where it's been pushed to. Now, this material is set quite well. All you do is, when you want to scan this, you just pull this wire out, and you've got your bite registration set, and you can do a stitch scan of at least 2 to 3 teeth on either side, and you've got your bite set exactly the way you need to, so that you get a nice even arch separation between the posterior teeth. The end goal is you've got 2 bite registrations that are stable, and then you can place them back in the mouth while the patient's sitting up and get the bite registration that you want for that patient while you're scanning that bite record. So for the patient, so you can put those back in the mouth, get the patient to bite on those again, and then, like I say, stitch scan on either side, as long as now they can bite as hard as they like posteriorly, because they're not going to be able to compress this bite registration. So that keeps it firmly in position while you scan these arches. When you use an anterior jig, any anterior jig, whether it's just a tip like that or a George gauge or anything, when you use those devices instead of the X-Slant, you're going to get masseter contraction posteriorly, which is going to collapse the bite posteriorly as opposed to the anterior part, because you've splintered the anterior with something solid. We're turning this around and putting the bite record posteriorly so that you can be sure that the masseteric clench isn't changing the bite unfavorably.